the game plan he came in with, it wouldn't have mattered at all. That's not the game plan, period, to beat him.
Like, it was horrible.
The only game plan that he should have came in with is the one that Kelvin Gastelum came in with. I'm going to fucking make this a dogfight and just hope I clip you, or just hope I can get into the exchanges to take you down.
I think that's what people expected, because basically that's what Paulo had done with all of he had gotten in all of his opponent's faces and basically, you know what, you took my mom's money and I'm going to beat you down. And so he would go after guys. And so you thought that was going to be what you were going to see when he fights Israel. Came out a little bit different, and I don't blame him. I thought he needed to. But when you can't catch someone, I don't care how much power you have. You can hit the air how many times, it's not going to hurt anybody. Yeah. Okay. So you got to be able to catch that guy. And that's what I really thought was going to be his problem, is being able to catch Israel in situations where he was able to land clean shots.
Yeah. Well, the way not to beat Izzy is to stand at range and just let him kick you. We figured that out in the first 20 seconds.
Oh my God.
It was when he stood there, and I thought, man, okay, he's going to be a little bit of a showman. Okay, I'm okay with it. But then as the round went on and he just kept doing that, there was never a moment where he was pushing the pace, trying to get after, make it a dogfight. And I'm thinking to myself, what are you doing? You can't stand at kicking range with someone who's got longer legs and arms than you.
And it's not only that, it's when he was trying to cut the cage off on it. But if you're going to cut the cage off, once you cut that angle to cut him off, you've got to engage and make him pay for moving in that direction. You can't cut him off and not engage.
Yeah.
Then you're back to, it's a chase. So I don't know. I think it's a learning experience for Paulo. He's still a young
29.
fighter. Oh yeah. And he's going to have his shots again, but he's going to have to figure out, this is MMA. I may not match up exactly like I thought I was going to match up with this guy. So if I get a chance, I'm going to have to change that game plan. And that's the best part about MMA. He could be better in one area, but all you do is drag him into your world. Make him fight your fight. My dad said it too many times. When you are fighting another man's fight, you're an idiot. And, that's the whole thing that you've got to look at. How do I make him have to fight my fight? That's the question when it comes to Adesanya, because, man, no one's really done it. You're right. Kelvin Gastelum kind of got him to do it. And that was the fight that gave, Adesanya the most trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, because here's the thing is, honestly, in my mind, I reverted back to that fight and I was like, man, if he gets hit by Costa the way he got hit by Gastelum, who's a smaller 85-pounder, I'm like, man, this fight could be done. And so in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, if Costa makes it a dogfight, like he's been making a dogfight when he fought Yoel Romero, and he's had success. And I thought if he fought that same way, he had a very good chance of winning, especially in the first 2 rounds. 3rd, 4th, and 5th, I gave it, if it got to that far, I gave it to Izzy the whole way, because the technique and the style of which he has would work to his advantage, especially the length and the range. Once you've slowed down enough at the end of the 2nd or into the 3rd round, it's harder to get in on the takedown. It's harder to keep scrapping, as we saw with Yoel Romero. And Izzy can just use his technique in kickboxing to keep it on the feet. And we never got to that point. So it didn't make a difference.
Let's be honest. After the very first minute, 1 minute into the fight, if you know what you're looking at, you go, this fight's done.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was watching it. I was like you, a little bit in shock. I'm like, okay, you're going to just turn this on any moment, Raya. Turn it on. And I'm like, and I'm going to turn it off here in 2 seconds. I was baffled what I was watching. But look, I don't want to go too much towards Costa as much as I want to say Izzy's a fucking savage. I got to tell you, he's so damn good. He is so good. And I mean, I like everything that he says after the fact. He said when he's talking about, okay, I want to beat Yoel, I want to beat Whitaker, I want to beat Kevin Gass, I want to fight Paulo Costa. Now, what did he say? He wants to fight Cannonier.
Jared Cannonier.
And he said if he gets past Whitaker, he's like, I think
he's got a good chance of that.
If he's like, if he does, I want to fight that guy. You can't be mad. As a promoter, Dana White sitting there going, hello.
Hello, I love you.
Yeah, where have you been all my life? That kind of thing. I mean, it gives me flashbacks of like a younger, John Jones. Just didn't care, just just knew he relied on his abilities and his strengths to go ahead and just dismantle people. I'm a little sad that we may not be able to see the John Jones Izzy fight because I'd like to see that fight. Because after he beats Cannonier, where does he go?
It's a good question.
It's like,
where does he go?
Let's start talking money fights. And John tweeted that whole thing about maybe I should come back down and fight at 205 and get my belt back. And everyone's, laughing about it. And Dana came out and said that, he's all for it. He's like, hey, if he wants that fight, he can have that fight, But I would like to see the Izzy and John Jones fight. That to me is one of those fights. I feel
especially since they've been doing this for how long? Come on, they've been jaw jacking back and forth. And Izzy's got a talent for getting under guys' skin.
Yeah,
he's good at it. He sits there and he makes little statements and pisses you off. And he's pissed John off, and John's tried to piss him off. I think. I don't know if it's really gotten to him or not, but that's a great fight. It's a fight where you look and you say, John has an advantage in one area. No doubt. His wrestling, which he used to use, he's got an advantage. Will he try to use it against him?
I think
don't know if he can.
It's going to be hard. I mean, it's going to be hard. The speed, I think. The other thing, too, is how old's John now? 33, 34? It's not the same.
You just said the magic word.
Yeah.
I could sit there and say whatever you want. John was never that fast
of
an athlete. Okay, he's great. I take nothing from him. But if you're going to sit there and you're going to look at certain factors and what makes him who he is, he's got some speed, but not that exceptional speed. Izzy is that guy that's way faster.
Let's have this conversation then. Izzy, if he continues to do what he's doing at 185, does he become the best fighter in the world? I mean, outside of, to me, is Khabib. Everyone's going to say John Jones. I have the drug issue with that. But look, I understand the talent and the ability's always been there. Okay, and I've never disputed that ever in my life. I think he's always been the most athletic, the most talented fighter that probably has ever walked the face of John Jones. But he's just got that aura of what goes along with it. It was the failed drug test. Izzy, though, doesn't have that. Khabib doesn't have that. I think when you put those guys in there and look, he's 20-0. He only needs 6-7 more fights of being undefeated. Do we put him in that conversation? Khabib's what? Khabib
he gets 8 more.
Yeah,
he gets 8 more, and obviously Khabib's going to be fighting there too. But when you're getting up there into that's rarefied air.
Yeah,
you're getting 20-0. Okay, and 20-0 not fighting cans.
No, asking for the best guys.
Exactly. You're 20-0 and you're the guy with the target on his back. You're the one that everyone wants because you're holding that belt.
Yeah.
He's getting there, man. He's, like I said, it's something about, that 185 pound tends to have one guy that just all of a sudden dominates. Anderson did it before, and Izzy's got, a very similar style in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
To him. The one thing that I looked at that I was surprised at, because I didn't think he'd had that many. This was his 100th combat sports career fight. Okay, he's 20-0, but probably had 9 or 10 of those in the UFC. Okay, 80 fights outside, in kickboxing. Okay, and he doesn't have any damage on him.
No.
What does that tell you about his level?
Yep. No, it's
He's
true.
Something special, man.
100% agree. Okay.